Chelsea's race for a Champions League spot is entering a decisive phase, and with the assumption that the top 5 teams qualify, the big question is simple: can Chelsea break into that top 5, or will they fall short? Right now, Chelsea sit in 6th place with 48 points, just 1 point behind Liverpool in 5th. On paper, that gap looks small, but when you break down their recent performances, underlying stats, and upcoming fixtures, the situation becomes far more complex. Because this is not just about points, it's about consistency, efficiency, and whether this Chelsea side is actually ready to handle the pressure. Let's start with their last 5 Premier League performances, because this is where the Real story lies. Against Burnley, Chelsea dominated possession with 67% and had more shots, but only managed 2 shots on target compared to Burnley's 4. That immediately tells you something. They control games, but they don't always convert that control into clear chances. Then against Arsenal, things got even more worrying. Despite having 58% possession, Chelsea only managed 2 shots on target and committed 13 fouls, picking up 4 yellow cards. That shows a lack of discipline and composure when facing top opposition. Moving on to the Aston Villa game, we see a different side of Chelsea: 17 shots and 9 on target, which is a strong attacking output, combined with 59% possession. This shows that the attacking potential is there, but the problem is consistency. They don't replicate this level every game. Against Newcastle, Chelsea again controlled the game with 67% possession and 21 shots, but only 3 were on target. That's a massive inefficiency in front of goal. You can dominate a match, but if you're not clinical, you leave yourself exposed. And finally, against Everton, Chelsea had 65% possession and 10 shots, but faced 7 shots on target from Everton. Meaning their defense allowed high-quality chances despite controlling the ball. So when you combine all 5 matches, a clear pattern emerges: Chelsea dominate possession consistently, averaging well above 60%, but their shot conversion and defensive control are inconsistent. They either create a lot but don't finish, or they allow opponents to create high-quality chances despite controlling the game. Now let's connect this to the bigger picture: their position in the table. Chelsea are chasing Liverpool, but they're also being chased by teams like Brentford and Everton. That means they are under pressure from both sides. They need to catch up while also defending their current position. And when your form is inconsistent, that becomes very difficult. But the biggest factor that could define Chelsea's season is their upcoming fixtures. And this is where things get really challenging. They face Manchester City and Manchester United back-to-back, 2 of the strongest teams in the league. These are games where even a draw would be valuable, but based on their recent inefficiency in front of goal, it's hard to guarantee results. Then they face Brighton, which is always a tricky fixture, followed by a must-win game against Nottingham Forest. After that, things don't get easier. Matches against Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur could directly decide their Champions League hopes, especially if Liverpool are still ahead of them in the table. And finally, they face Sunderland, which could either be a comfortable finish or a high-pressure decisive game depending on how results go. Now beyond stats and fixtures, there are deeper issues that cannot be ignored. This Chelsea squad is relatively young and still lacks experience in high-pressure situations. In games like Arsenal, where discipline matters, they picked up multiple yellow cards, showing signs of frustration. That lack of composure can be costly in tight matches. On top of that, the presence of a relatively new manager means the tactical system is still evolving. You can see it in their performances. Sometimes they look dominant and structured, and other times they look disorganized and inefficient. That inconsistency is typical of a team still adapting to a manager's philosophy. So when you combine everything, the stats, the performances, the fixtures, and the squad dynamics, what does it tell us about Chelsea's chances? The answer is not straightforward. On one hand, they are only 1 point away from the top 5, which means qualification is absolutely possible. On the other hand, their inefficiency in attack, defensive lapses, and lack of experience make it very difficult to trust them in crucial moments. If they can improve their shot conversion, turning those 20-shot performances into actual goals, they have a real chance. But if they continue to waste chances and lose discipline in big games, they will likely fall short. So will Chelsea qualify for the Champions League? Right now, the most realistic answer is, they are right on the edge. It's a 50-50 situation. They have the quality and the opportunity, but they also have clear weaknesses that could cost them. If they pick up at least 4 wins from their remaining games, especially against direct rivals like Liverpool and Tottenham, they can absolutely break into the top 5. But if their current inconsistency continues, they will likely finish just outside the Champions League spots. And that's what makes this so interesting. Chelsea's season is hanging in the balance. They're close enough to dream, but fragile enough to fall short. The next few games will decide everything. What you think, and write your commands below and subscribe to the channel.